Got me reminiscing back to when days were great. Got me wishing it was 1988.
Got me reminiscing back to when times were great. Got me wishing it was 1988.
Hello, Lime Nation. Welcome back to the Rap Flashback, May 2015 edition. By the time May comes around, lovely spring weather becomes the norm, and as Memorial Day nears, the first true signs of summer begin to surface. Lake, beach and pool trips, cookouts, short shorts, mini skirts, and sundresses, along with anxious ball players filling up the basketball courts and soccer fields, all help make up May's magic. With that in mind, let's take a look at some of the magical records and moments that have taken place in May over the course of hip-hop history.
So, you're a philosopher?
Yes.
May has been a big month for album releases over the years, and today we'll focus on a couple of records that left a strong imprint on rap's timeline. One of my favorite albums when I was growing up, By All Means Necessary by Boogie Down Productions, was likely released on May 31st, 1988. I say likely because occasionally when researching release dates you come across some variants, and there are some links out there that note an April 1988 release date. That said, we couldn't pass up an opportunity to talk about this record, so we'll go with the May date. In the time between BDP's first release, 1987's Criminal Minded, and By All Means Necessary, KRS-One's running mate, longtime friend, DJ Scott LaRock was murdered. The loss impacted KRS-One greatly. Criminal Minded was a conscious album, but with By All Means Necessary, KRS-One went from calling himself the Blastmaster to the Teacher, and penned an album that talks heavily about the issues plaguing urban communities at the time, and truth be told, still today. With both an album title and cover art inspired by the famous Malcolm X declaration of By Any Means Necessary, the record had to pack a strong-minded political punch, and that it certainly did. Though the album had modest commercial success, peaking at number 18 on the R&B and hip-hop charts and number 75 overall, it is widely regarded as a classic record, and I for one have to agree. In 1998, The Source selected it as one of the 100 best rap albums, and in 2008, VH1 ranked My Philosophy, my favorite track off the album, as the 49th greatest hip-hop song ever recorded. I've always loved on that track when KRS-One fiercely proclaims, "It's not about a salary, it's all about reality. Teachers teach and do the world good. Kings just rule and most are never understood." Other notable, conscious records on By All Means Necessary include lead single Stop the Violence, a call for inner city peace, which also doesn't shy away from calling out the government's role in perpetuating poverty, Illegal Business, where KRS-One exposes the hypocrisies of the so-called war on drugs, and Jimmy, a track about safe sex. As you can see, this album does indeed focus on a variety of issues surrounding inner city communities, and with the late great Scott LaRock's minimalist 808 drum bass production as the backdrop for KRS-One's powerful messages, By All Means Necessary is truly a staple of hip-hop's golden age. Or as KRS-One says to close out My Philosophy, "Fresh for 88, you suckers." The Beastie Boys released one of their many standout records, Ill Communication, on May 23rd in 1994. By this, the group's fourth album, the rock-rap fusion and sound experimentation that they incorporated in the first three came across more naturally. Powered by smash singles Sabotage, Root Down, the Q-Tip-assisted Get It Together, and my all-time favorite Beasties jam, Sure Shot, the album became the second from the Beasties to land at number 1 in the charts, on its way to triple platinum status. Ill Communication was a very diverse record that drew from many sounds and genres such as alternative, rap, rock, Latin rhythms, jazz, funk, and hardcore punk. It stands as a prime example of the Beastie Boys aesthetic, a band that's always pushed the musical and stylistic envelopes in becoming one of the most universally loved, recognizable, and respected groups to do it. Whether getting amped to the guitar riff-driven Sabotage, head-bobbing to the hip-hop grooves of Sure Shot, or kicking back and enjoying the smoothed-out Ricky's theme, there's definitely something for most on Ill Communication, a truly fantastic record that has withstood the test of time. It's got mad hits like it was Rod Carew.
If you can't, and you don't stop.
JP Lime coming rocking the Sure Shot. And to close out the segment, other notable albums released in May are Ice Cube's first solo album after his split from NWA, 1990's America's Most Wanted. released on May 16th and covered in the May 2014 edition of the Rap Flashback, which you can find in our archives at the link below. We'll come back to Cube in a few months for the much anticipated release of Straight Outta Compton, the NWA movie that's due out in August 2015, of which Cube had a huge role in developing. J. Rue the Damages debut, The Sun Rises in the East, Heavy D and the Boys, Nothing But Love, and 8 Ball and MJG's On the Outside Looking In were all released on May 24th, 1994. Great day for hip-hop right there, with Heavy D's groove-friendly style, J. Rue's New York street edge, and 8 Ball and MJG's southern brand of hip-hop all hitting the market. Memorable hip-hop moments don't always come in the form of album releases and aren't always memorable in a good way for those involved. Let's take a look at 2 such events. We'll start with the most recent of the 2. On May 12th, 2014, the now infamous Elevator Fight video featuring Jay-Z, Beyonce, and her younger sister Solange first appeared online. We all remember how Solange angrily attacked Jay as he did his best to keep her at arm's distance. What always cracks me up about the footage is how Beyonce just kind of stands there as if to imply that Jay deserved it. There were rumors that Jay flirting with other women at the Met Gala afterparty which preceded the incident angered Solange to the point where she lashed out. But who knows what actually stirred the fight. To their credit, all parties released statements in the subsequent weeks indicating that it was a family matter that spun a bit out of control, as family matters often do. They all made up and moved forward, and though there was no rematch, that moment where everyone was raving about Solange beating up Jay-Z and all the jokes and memes that came from it is now etched in hip-hop's gossip's lore. Score a W for Solange.
Now, what was that slick shit you said? Nah, fuck that Marcy shit, nigga. This Houston. Get the fuck off of me. Go get your ass kicked, nigga. Nigga, don't you never in your life try to play me with your fuck shit. I will fuck you up, Jay. I'll fuck you up. I'm cool, just had to check it, nigga.
On May 7th, 2002, NBA star / hip-hop flag bearer Allen Iverson delivered his now legendary practice rant. AI dropped a rhyme or 2 in his day, and truth be told, they were mostly forgettable. But more so than anything, he's often credited with bringing another level of hip-hop culture to the NBA and its fans. One of the first to unapologetically rock the baggy clothes, chains, do-rags, and baseball hats at various NBA press conferences and events. His style, when combined with his awesome skills on the court, propelled him into becoming an NBA hip-hop icon of sorts. But we're talking about practice, or rather, AI's practice rant. Let's face it, he went off. Asked about his laissez-faire attitude towards practices after missing yet another one during the playoffs, no less. AI did his best to acknowledge the incident, but couldn't help but to convey his feeling that it was being drastically overhyped in the media. Not the game, he exclaimed over and over as he sarcastically pointed out how ridiculous he thought that so much attention was being focused on talking about practice. It was hilarious then and still is today. The way I see it, he had a point. Not that I'm one to lessen the importance of practice. It matters, of course. But come on, man. Isn't the game 100 times more important?
Scholar, you know you missed our rehearsal earlier this week, right?
Ah, here we go again. Prof, come on. Don't I always kill it on stage?
Well, I suppose you do, yeah, but I think you're missing the
But
point.
we're sitting here talking about rehearsal. Rehearsal, man. Rehearsal. Not the show. Not the show that I go out there and die for and perform every one like it's my last. We're sitting here talking about rehearsal. How silly is that?
But don't you feel like you can make the band better by rehearsing?
Man, how the hell am I supposed to make you and Space rap better by rehearsing?
Because we sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
And to close out the Rap Flashback, let's wish a happy hip-hop birthday to the following May babies. Philadelphia's own Meek Mill, May 5th. Representing the Woo, Ghostface Killer, May 9th. Old school legend and hip-hop pioneer Melly Mel, May 15th. Woo-ha! Busta Rhymes. And multiple-time Grammy winner Lauryn Hill, May 20th. The late, great Notorious B.I.G., May 21st. Rest in power. The West Coast representing with MC8, May 22nd. And the Dog Pound's Daz Dillinger, May 25th. Another legend gone too soon, TLC's own Lisa Left Eye Lopez, May 27th. Outkast MC, Andre 3000, May 27th. And Jadakiss from the Lox, also May 27th. a fantastic lyricist who passed away too soon as well, Big L, May 30th. And lastly, the king of rock, Daryl McDaniels, better known as DMC from the legendary Run DMC, May 31st. And that concludes the Rap Flashback this month. As always, we implore you to feed your head with more hip-hop history by catching up on previous episodes on our YouTube channel and or at our Rap Flashback archives, which you can access online at jplineproductions.com, where you'll also find links to our music as well as intriguing content on all things hip-hop, poetry, and sports. Thank you all for tuning in. We promise to be back next month with more hip-hop, more memorable moments, and more knowledge. We are your old school hip-hop fix. For my partners, Professor and Spaceman, I am Scholar, signing off. Keep liming.
Roll on video. Rap Flashback, man. Scene 3, take 1.
The Beastie Boys released one of their many standout records, Ill Communication, on May 23rd in 1994.
I'm sorry.